It's about that time. Okay, now I need to do one more thing here. Yeah, I need to fix that real quick. Okay, now we should be good. Cool. Okay. Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. There is one stock I see here. Just want to get my Zendu up real quick before we go ahead and get started. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Okay, I see GITS showing momentum on my scanner. Certainly momentum, but volume is very low. Let's see, we also have on the gap scanner VNDA. This one looks like it moved on Friday. VHub, relatively flat. Okay, so nothing else too crazy. Mostly GITS, but very light volume. Good morning, Sol. Invictus Dominia. Good morning, sir. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We are back on the margin account for today. Still waiting to set up the Thinkorswim platform. It's probably going to be, realistically, it's going to be like a week until that platform's up. So I'm probably just going to keep jumping between both platforms, or between the cash account and the margin account, until I get that new account set up. But yeah, got one day trade for today. So if I see a setup that comes into line, I will take it. I mean, yeah, GITS is not in play for me. This would not be a stock that I short. Too many disqualifying factors. Same with VNDA. So yeah, we're pretty much waiting for something new to be shortable. Neither of these stocks meet my criteria. Yeah, we'll just have to see if we get anything else on watch here at the top of the hour. I'm feeling pretty good. I've been starting to go to the gym more lately. I've been on a pretty good rhythm, so looking forward to seeing how that impacts my liveliness. RXT, good call out. Got some volume coming in here. Interesting to see this here, because there's no news on this, at least none that I'm seeing, but certainly good volume. Weird. So this one, oh yeah, this is that stock from last week. So this is actually a continuation setup. Yeah, it bled off for several weeks here, and now we're seeing explosive movement. Yeah, this was kind of that consolidation building pattern we saw on Friday. All right, it's clearly at this very critical level here. So seeing how it responds here is going to be very important. Interesting, though, is that this stock tends to move much slower. Like, this is a whole year time frame. So seeing this thing going up all the way to $2.05, this is quite a big move, despite all of this selling pressure. Very interesting. see what this ends up converting into. I should be testing, right? I'm not going to short this, but I should keep on testing to see. Okay, yeah, I'm actually not even able to short this one. Interesting. Perhaps because it was under $1 recently. Palantir partner, 82 million float. Yeah. Yeah, this was from news a couple days ago. I guess last week, but yeah. Certainly has, like, the move behind it, right? This is continuation play. Just depends on how much people want to get involved with that, because this is clearly a stock that has struggled in the last year. Very, very much so. But will that news overpower it is the question. It's, to what I can tell, it's the only thing worth looking at right now. Nothing else on watch is even worth trading. Like I said, I'm not even able to short it. This one's iffy on whether or not it meets my criteria, but considering I can't even short it, there's no question to be asked there. So I am forced to just be a spectator here. And I don't know, like I'm iffy. Like, the news seems very good, but this is a bad company, and we've already been multiple days into the move. Right? We're basically at the highs. So I don't know. Like, you did break out of this clear level at 187, so realistically there's not any clear resistance on the daily past this. There's arguments that this could go up a lot. There's also arguments that this could go down a lot, right? I think a lot of range could happen. It's a bit weird, like you said. The shares you said float is 82 million, but like shares outstanding 243 million. That's a huge, for this thing to go from 40 cents to $2. That's a huge inflow of capital. Like a massive, massive inflow. Yeah, even on the level 2, like I wouldn't be able to make heads or tails of this. It's way too thickly stacked. Yeah, even on this big of a pump, 188, I don't know. This is actually a pretty big move for this volume. It's only a 22-cent move. But the volume is actually pretty light relative to the float. I'd actually, I don't know. I would say I'm bearish, but I mean, pattern-wise, this is also a very clean setup for a breakout. And like, it's been cup and handling here. Like, the next leg, like if this does make another leg, this could move similar to this. I don't know. I really am torn on this one. I think there's arguments for both sides here. I don't really have a bias. AIDX. This one's a bit more expensive, but it is getting some volume here. No news. Okay. This is a US company. Oh, recent IPO. Okay, yeah, recent IPO. Yeah, this came out on Friday. Or no, it came out on Thursday. Hello again, sir. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to short... Yeah, okay, new IPO. Can't short this one either. Wouldn't want to anyway. These new IPOs can make some pretty crazy moves in both directions. So weird, though. This, like, it pops up from $14.30 up to 30 on 300 shares of volume. Like, how does that even happen? It just reeks of manipulation. Like, to me, this feels very top heavy. I would be bearish. Interestingly, on the IPO date, this IPO'd at $50. So this IPO'd really high and just basically sold off the entire day. So I guess this does have room to recapture, technically. I mean, I say it IPO'd at 50. You got like 1,800 volume here. 300 volume. Yeah, 300 volume. So this is super, super thinly traded. This could whiplash very hard in either direction. I'd be very concerned about this rug pulling. Just the fact that this gapped up almost like 100% on 300 shares of volume. That's a serious red flag. Probably not wise to short it in any case, because these are also the stocks that can make 1,000% movers that are unjustified. But I would say I'm more bearish on this than not. GITS, very strange. This one curled up. No volume. No actual news on the top of the hour either. So this was a no news, slow grind up. Spike of volume at the top. In hindsight, I guess this is more bearish. It's not a great setup for me on the daily. But this does look like a rug pull type of setup. Wouldn't be surprised if this goes all the way back. Five-minute tweezer top. Tweezers. I mean, yeah, you definitely got the topping tails in this. I just don't really think the chart is trustworthy here. The stock has already shown a history within the 2 days it's been IPO'd where you're just having non-existent volume and huge moves, right? This went from $50 to 18 on, I mean, I'm just going to estimate maybe like, I don't know, like 3,000 volume. So this already has shown this can move drastically. So I feel because of how easily this can be manipulated, chart patterns shouldn't be trusted so much here. In fact, I would just say don't trust this stock at all. Gets continuing to rug. Wouldn't be surprised if it goes all the way back. Probably goes down to like 203 or something. I mean, he's all of a sudden dropped to 210. Yeah, in hindsight, this would have been an okay short. But daily chart invalidated it for me, so was not interested. Gotta respect that. Also, I got to keep in mind too, since I only have one trade today, like it's got to be a good setup. If I'm gonna go for it. RXT pulling back. I mean, it could just range. The thing is with RXT as well, because this is such a high float, right? This has had several instances like where this just will barcode. There's not a lot of range to capture. Even if you did capture, if you captured 100% of this move, you got 22 cents out of it. Like there's not a lot of range to it. B-Hub maybe gave me something. I saw this one. It was only up 20% though. Another recent IPO. Can I even short this? I don't know when locates even become available on Webull. Yeah, I can't even short this one either. Yeah, recent IPO. Not even a month old yet. I wouldn't want to short this one anyway. It's too, not enough history. Too early. Quick request while we're in kind of a dead zone. If you guys could do me a favor and hit that like button if you haven't already. I see 5 of you had. I do appreciate it. If you haven't already and would like to, I would appreciate that as well. Thank you. But no pressure. Yeah, I think most of my focus really is on AIDX. Out of anything that can move, I feel like this has the best potential. It's still not a great setup just because, like I said, I'm more bearish, or not necessarily bearish. I don't trust this. This thing, the chart patterns can be easily manipulated given how low volume this is taking to move, especially this initial spike was only on 300. I feel like this is very prone to manipulation. I just generally don't trust it. I am bearish on it in general, but I really just don't trust it. Where do I get my news from? Thinkorswim's, I think it's Bazinga or whatever it's called. It's on Thinkorswim. It's a free service they have. That's the nice thing about my setups here, right? Like my scanners are free. My news scanner is free. Charting is free. So that's the nice thing about what I got going here. It's nothing too crazy, but it is all free. So that really does add up. Good morning, Divin. Hope you're doing well. It's a slower day today, man. I was hoping for a bit more because it was Monday, right? We had a super slow Friday, I think. I took one trade, like, what was it, ENVB? I did end up trading this one. Or no, that was Thursday, okay. No, what did I trade Friday? I can't remember. But yeah, it was a slow day Friday. It's looking, unfortunately, like a slower Monday. Which, I mean, considering Monday tends to be one of the more active days, seeing Monday be cold is not promising. Everybody's probably waiting for NVIDIA. I mean, I don't know. Like, I understand that, like, bigger global events or just bigger companies, those kind of things can contribute. But at the end of the day, I don't think they have as much of an impact as people say. Right. Now, like, for example, if crypto's really hot, then crypto catalysts will do well. Right. If there's something very important going on in the world, maybe there's, like, with the Iran situation with war potential, maybe like military company or military contracts could do better. I think that's certainly relevant, but I know some people are like, well, if the SPY is down, then the small caps will not be as active. I don't really know if that's the case. It is really just what is going on in the world right now, and those catalysts will convert in small caps. Like and the reason I say that is because you bring up waiting for NVIDIA, and regardless if it performs well or not, unless there's stocks that move that specifically have that as a catalyst with NVIDIA or something, like a partnership or something, I don't think it really matters. I don't. So I got 3 more likes there. Thank you guys so much for leaving a like. I do appreciate it. Yeah, and I think we're just waiting right now. We got like 10 minutes till the half hour. Unfortunately, yeah, it seems like it's been mostly a dud. And actually thinking about it, AIDX had no news on this move. GITS had no news on this move. RXT didn't have news on this move. Was this 7? Yeah, this was 7. No news at the top of the hour, so this was a move. So all 3 of our moves this morning have been on no news. That's maybe worth keeping an eye on. I trade with no EMAs or VWAPs on my charts. That is correct. Don't find them useful, so I don't use them. To me, they create noise. Right, Mr. Frill. That is correct, yes. Yeah, to me, they are not productive, so I do not use them. The only one that is like borderline useful that I find can help more is the VWAP. The moving averages, like the regular ones, like the SMA or the EMA, I don't find those ones helpful at all. I find that they are respected as much as they are not respected. So there's no real edge there. I do find that VWAP is a little bit more reliable though. Like of the moving averages, I feel VWAP is probably the best one if you were to use one. Or if I was to use one. But yeah, I don't really hold much regard to that. Which is certainly different, because I know a lot of people do. And as a good argument to test or think about, if you think that maybe I'm crazy for just not using them, I would say, how reliable are they when you're trading? Because if they're failing half the time, then it's really just noise if it's actually a legitimate indicator or not. And this is something that I've thought about a lot, not necessarily with manipulation, but just how bigger players think. So a lot of people know about the moving average, right? You got the 9 exponential moving average or a simple moving average or whatever. Like it'll curl down to the 9. You try to bounce off of that level for the bounce. But at the same time, you might have a bigger player who's trying to sell, who knows that retail is going to buy at that level. So that might be where they sell, right? You've got that counterbalance. So I've observed many times that it seems like it's respected, but there's other times where it's a flush signal, right? Where it turns into a 50-50 of is it going to bounce here or is it going to flush? And that actually creates a much more dangerous, a higher risk environment, right? Because you're buying into the most dangerous part of the move right before a potential flush. So yeah, I just choose not to use them. If you prefer them, totally makes sense to me. I got a lot more likes. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I really do. it helps. It helps with pushing this even just a little bit. But yeah, honestly, I'm actually surprised AIDX hasn't really done anything. I thought for sure it would have broken out or collapsed by now. I mean, as I say that, maybe now it's getting traction, but yeah, I'm really surprised that we ranged this hard. What is this range? 28.30. So you had like a 60-cent range in just a very slow grind. Looking at the level 2. Yeah. Looks like a 30 to 60-cent range. I mean, I feel like a broken record. I see a couple more people left to like. I do appreciate it. Starting off real strong, though, with the likes this stream. 15 this early is solid. Yeah, big spread. 30 to 60 cents. It's definitely bigger. I mean, it is a higher price stock, lower volume. It makes sense you'd have a bigger spread, right? So I'm not really surprised by that. Just mostly pointing it out. And honestly, considering how much this moved on... Think about this, right? This is 300 shares of volume that moved this from 14.30 up to 30 bucks. Like, that's... For 300 shares of volume to do that is ludicrous. Like, there's no real rationale behind that, especially for there being no news on it. This is purely in untradable risk territory for me. $3 now. I don't see a $3 spread for you for me. I still see like a 50-cent spread. Okay, there's a $1 spread. Yeah, so it's like, it was probably around 50, 60 cents here, or like 30 to 60 cents here. And now it's like a dollar spread, 50 cent to a dollar spread for these kind of moves. Okay, yeah, now I'm seeing like $1.50. Okay, so the spread is getting wider. Maybe it was like $3 right during this flush. I suppose it could have been. Yeah, $2 spread now. You see news on it. I see no such news, Mr. Flip-Flop. Flip-Flop, are you able to short this, by the way? I am not. Weeble level 2 for me showing 26 and 29. Which level 2 are you using? Are you using National Best Bid Offer, or are you using Total View? If you're using Total View, then it only shows NASDAQ, which might explain the bigger spread. But yeah, I'm using National Best Bid Offer, and I'm seeing about a $2 spread. A little less. 2020 Biolabs to host a virtual webinar on Thursday. That's the news. Yeah, okay. No, fair enough. I see that. No, wait, I see that too, Flip-Flop. Can you check the date for you? I see that news as well, but that news came out on the 20th. Yeah, it says it right here. So, yeah, Flip-Flop, maybe your news is actually the one that's outdated here. Because, I mean, I had that same exact headline from a few days ago. Or no. Yeah, I just can't read. Yeah. You clarified that was on Thursday. Yeah. Yeah, there's like no live news on it though. Yeah. Also, good morning, Flip Flop. You chose a terrible time to be on time today because there's nothing moving. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, you can short it, but it's a ridiculous 64 per 100 shares. Really? You're able to short this? Even though it's only a 2-day old IPO? That's a thing? I thought that companies weren't shortable for like the first month or something. Okay. So I'm just apparently full of crap and I don't know what I'm talking about apparently. So you can, I mean, maybe it's just that most brokerages don't get easy access to shares when they first IPO. I suppose that could be it. But yeah, like for this, I don't even have the option to short it. There's no short. On DAS, it shows prohibited. Yeah, and it could be because of Flip Flop's broker as well, right? His broker is specifically for shorting. Oh, it's okay. So even for Cobra. Okay. And yeah, I mean, it still could just tie back to recent IPO, harder to find shares, harder to short. Yeah, we're at the half hour here. Let's see if we get anything. Realistically, I've only taken 2 trades, and one of them wasn't even a correct setup by me, and I shouldn't have taken the trade. So we really only have one valid trade that I've taken using this strategy, and it did work, but barely. Like, I almost stopped out, so... I'd like to see, realistically, like another 3 days of data, and if it looks like I'm doing well, then I would be fine with sizing up a little bit from that, but need more data. I've been seeing ticker say SPB, then change to shortable before too, or hard to bar rather than just shortable. Yeah, I don't know how those updates happen, if they're like in real time or if they're in certain intervals. Don't really know. Curious. I just want to see, like, RXT was not shortable for me. Gets... Just out of curiosity, am I able to short this one? Okay, so, holy crap. Okay, I'm able to short Gits, but it's at 878% borrow fee. Wow. Still only a 1 cent fee. Okay, that's an insanely high borrow fee. I don't know if I've seen it that high. That's so high. You posted a screenshot on the Discord? Okay, I'll check it out when I get some free time. Wow. That's a huge borrow fee. Is 100 shares still 1 cent? Even with that borrow fee? So if I do 100 shares... okay, so 100 shares is 2 cents. That's still, I mean, I feel like that's gotta be a steal, right? With an 800% borrow fee. Yeah, Flip Flop, if you can check Gits, can you see what the borrow fee is for this one? 878 is massive. We might have a stock moving though. EZRA. It's a penny stock. It is moving, but it's too cheap for me. I can't short it even if I would want to. Mm. So what a move. 19 cents up to 27. That's an 8-cent move, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when the stock is only 19 cents, that's actually a massive deal. Gets on Thinkorswim borrow fee is 759%. Gets 475 per 100 shares. Yeah, like, it's really interesting because like the theme I'm really getting is that Webull seems to have extremely cheap locates, right? 100 shares for me is 2 cents. Like, the fact that you're paying $4.75 for 100 shares and I'm paying 2 cents, like, that seems like a pretty big discrepancy. And Sol, you saying 459 or not 459, bar fee 759. I mean, that's similar, I guess. And I'm curious if the bar fee, like how they actually calculate it. Is it based off of the inventory that the broker has? Or do brokers like kind of exchange locates? Because I don't actually know how that works. Like, is it only in-house inventory, or do they source it from other places? Or 759? Yeah. I said, yeah. I saw the dollar. I knew what you meant. You mentioned your new shorting strat. Is this to compensate for a colder market when going long isn't working, or have you always shorted small caps? I shorted small caps a couple years ago, back when I was newer. I made good money. I made a couple $100, but I was much newer to day trading then. I was not doing good habits. And if any of you know, and I'm sure most of you know, shorting is probably the most dangerous thing you could do as a beginner. And I realized really early on, just seeing the upside, like the potential unlimited loss, like just scared me so much that I left it. No, and I'm going to make a video on this on the channel to cover it more. And I want to talk about this more. I talked about this on Friday, which is that while my strategy works, if you look at the entire documentation of my like 6 months on this channel, with my strategy, I've made net profit, maybe like, I don't know, somewhere between $400 and $800 net profit. I know that's a pretty big range, but I'm just kind of like ballparking it. And a lot of that was because I was trading larger size before I started doing the live streaming and the smaller account challenge. But I don't think that I'm getting results that are appealing enough to a lot of people. And on that same token, I've received a lot of criticism that I'm not really being productive with my time by doing this. And I think they got a good point to it. Because even though like my strategy can work with higher size, there's a lot of stress with it. And part of the reason that I sized down a bit was because live streaming added stress to me trading. So part of me sizing down was to reduce that stress. And I don't really know how confidently I would be trading, say, 1,000 shares while streaming to like 50 people. And even if I did, like, I might be making like $50 or $100 a day. Like, I decided that there's got to be a better way. So that's why I'm working on this new strategy. If I'm right, I've done a lot of backtesting research on it. If I'm right and I can fine tune it, this should actually be more profitable and easier to scale into than my old strategy. And that's the hope, right? That's always the hope. But yeah, we're mostly in the testing phase. Unfortunately, we've really only had one actual trade with this strategy. It was a winner, but it was almost a stop out. There was another trade I took, but I actually just completely botched the trade. It was the incorrect setup, and it did turn into a loser. I don't even know if I should really count that one. But yeah, if we're going on literal results, then technically my shorting on this has only been 2 trades so far. One like How much did I make? Was it like 90-cent winner or something? And I had like a 40-cent loser. So yeah, we're only doing 1 share per position sizing. So this is a strategy where I will add to the position in increments at certain levels. And that's part of why we're starting at 1 share as well, because at max position, then I would be at 4 shares. But yeah, if I get like another three trades and it doesn't seem like I'm greatly underestimating something, then I would be willing to size up. Not a lot, maybe go to like 2 shares per allocation or 3 shares, but like that's kind of what I'm like considering right now. And I wish I could do more. Like, I hate that I have to stream and only really risk such a small amount, because I want to be able to like share with you guys more. But realistically, this is actually just the like actual implementation phase right now. So I got to make sure I got all my ducks in a row. Right? I mean, you look at the first trade I took, I messed it up because I missed a criteria because I wasn't used to looking for it. So that just shows that I needed more time to calibrate. Like, you gotta figure too, I've been so hardwired with day trading to think a certain way. So I'm kind of needing to change that wiring. So for Gits, 475 for 100 shares is 4 cents per share. So I think it's close to yours. Yeah, so okay, so you're paying roughly double. I mean, 4 cents versus 2 cents isn't really a big deal. That's fair. But it is noticeable, right? I am paying half the fees that you are. I don't think that's non-impactful, right? If you're talking about edge, anything that can get you a 2-cent edge is a big deal, right? And we're not even counting the platform fees, right? Because I'm sure with your platform, you probably got your platform fees and all that. The fact that I'm not paying any platform fees, I'm getting passive income, and I have half the fee cost. Like, I'm really postured to where if this strategy works, I'm really postured to hammer this thing hard. I just got to make sure that I got enough data to support it. Also, I've been starting to go to the gym more. I'm trying to get more in shape, you know, rather than just be a good example for my trading. I want to, you know, physically actually be a good example to follow for others. So I'm trying to go to the gym more. I've been going daily for like the last week now. Tried to go this morning though, but we had a big snowstorm and the gym was closed. So I gotta go later here. A bit frustrating. I only go long pre-market, but I have shorted no news spikes post-market and had good success. But it's the infinite loss potential that scared me, so I never short where I can get caught in a hole. Yeah, one of my criteria is cannot short during market hours, right? For the reason you exactly described. Exactly correct. Yeah, there's too much danger. Like, people call out, what was it? There was a stock. It was like NPT, was it? Was it this one? We'll go back. Is 20? Okay, yeah, 20 is enough. So people call out this one, for example, where this went from, we'll just call it $8 up to 30, right? In about 10 seconds. Now, I had ways to filter this out. This had red flags written all over it, but people call this out as the dangerous thing. But the real dangerous thing is the stocks that will halt at like $8 and then they open like up at 200 or something ridiculous, like 250. Those just kill you. And the worst part is there's no way to really get out. I understand that this only had a 10-second move for this spike, so this one would have been an exception where it would have been hard to get out of this one too. But it definitely seems like the massive spike ups really only can happen if there's manipulation involved and they're realistically forcing people to cover at the top. If people try to pump it during pre-market, there's always going to be people buying into this move, and they don't really want that. So I actually, believe it or not, I think that pre-market is less manipulated than market hours in terms of those Chinese stock pump and dumps. Yeah, TCGL was another one, yeah. TCGL. Yeah, this one too. Like, and I want to be more specific with this one, because this one would have been flaggable if okay, can I not even do that? I'll find it. Give me a sec. Let's try 20 with 1 minute. Okay, why? You're not even letting me see. I know the stock's halted, but do I really have to do this? Like, okay, we're just gonna have to do this. I know from experience, so I looked at the stock already. I can't really show it well here, but this move straight up did not have it happen instantaneously. It took at least 5 minutes. I think it took longer, like half an hour. But this was definitely, you were definitely able to get out of this if you managed your risk. Versus if you were stuck in a halt here at 25 and you tried to get out here and it immediately halted on you again, then it gaps up to 100, right? Like this is much more dangerous than pre-market, in my opinion. Hi, can I mention tickers in this chat? I mean, yeah, if you see a stock that you're interested in, you can call it out. You can say, hey, this stock's moving. Just don't be like, hey guys, go buy this stock or short this stock, guys. Buy, short. Like, none of that. That'll get you kicked. You know, like, that's just, we can't have that. We can't have pump and dump manipulation, none of that stuff. More big moves on Friday after hours. Love it. Good morning. Good morning, Bobby. I think there was one that was moving. Like this one, yeah? Yeah, so this one moved after hours. Pretty much immediately, though. Yeah, you had, like, realistically 3 minutes of the move. But this one, well, no, it did kind of grind up afterward. Yeah, this one did. I wouldn't really say this one. Yeah, this was kind of choppy. This one would have. It's a cheaper stock, but this definitely moved from yesterday or the after hours. So yeah, we've had a couple stocks that have moved like that, certainly. Dang, AIDX, just the slow grind. Wow. NCI. Yeah, this one's getting a little bit of volume. Interestingly, on the historical daily chart, this thing has had some instances where it just pops up and it's given back the entire move each time. This is the first instance where we've been seeing it grind up and actually holding these gains. Right, I go to like the 10-day. This is a very big grind up here. This one's out of play for me. I think this might be a foreign company too. Yeah, yep, Chinese stock. It's from Hong Kong. I already see several red flags here, so this will not be a short for me. But yeah, this one, interesting move on it. Getting some volume coming in. No news. Chinese stock, very extended on this. Looks like a pump. Manipulation, beware. Atom. Ooh, wow. Probably some biotech bad news if I had to guess. Oh no, just an offering. Fair enough. Yeah, $7 straight to $5.50. Yeah, rough on that one. That one's out of play for me, though. It's not meeting my criteria either. Yeah, we really... Almost every stock that's moved this morning has been on no news. This is very strange. What is this, like 5 out of 5? It's been like almost every stock, if not every stock, that has moved up has been on no news. Certainly warrants caution. Yeah, NAIDX just giving it all. Like, this just looks like a pump and dump to me. Like, spiking up on 300 volume, then churning here for like 10 minutes to generate retail interest, then just slowly distributing. Down goes NCI. Oof. Oof. Wow. Dang. 850 all the way to 660. Wow. Oh my. Yeah, this one doesn't meet my criteria, so I would not have shorted this. This has too much potential to be manipulated in both directions. My strategy really focuses on avoiding the manipulation. That's a big part of what I found caused my shorts to lose, was being manipulated into a stock that was getting pumped before the dump. Even though they did eventually dump, it doesn't matter if you get in too early. And yeah, this could just be the top, and since this is so extended on the daily, maybe this is just the top, and we just sell off into oblivion from here, right? This could literally go down to like $1, maybe lower, but yeah, we'll see. Like, I don't, like, for all we know, maybe this completely recovers too. That's nasty though. $2 flush. Looking at this push down, this actually would be a decent buy spot right here. 613. Yeah, this would have been this was very overextended. This could have been a buy spot right here. You could have got like, I don't know, you could have got like 40 cents off of that. Yeah, so there was a falling knife set up there that certainly could have worked. The problem is too, though, with how big of a move this is, this would be so scary to try and catch a knife on. Right? Like I said, you could have made 40 cents from that move, but that also could have rugged another 50 cents down. Actually, am I not able to short foreign companies? Okay, so I'm noticing something here. I'll take a look at this. So NPT, I'm not able to short it. NCI, I'm not able to short this one. TCGL, was it this? TCGL, I'm also not able to short. So maybe I'm not actually able to short foreign companies, in addition to not being able to short stocks under $1. I'm not really complaining either way, because the foreign companies tend to be the ones that are more manipulated, but still. Bounced off 5-minute 200 EMA. I mean, you got daily support. you got support from earlier here. I mean, if we look at daily, yeah, you got some support here. So honestly, a bounce off of here is pretty logical, right? You had support here, you got support all along here. It's not really surprising that it bounced there in hindsight. I just was looking at it zoomed in here. I wasn't really focusing on taking a trade, but I was just saying, hey, this looked like it was overextended when it got to here. What do you think of FGL in terms of potential move up? This one? I mean, okay, so you're thinking like a longer term then, I guess. So like the fact that this is on such a big downtrend, even this suggests that they were diluting hard. If this was news, then this would have just immediately tanked. But this looks more like dilution to me. So the fact that we've been trending down, we see massive dilution, signals to me this is a company that has poor performance. All right, in general, unless you think that the fundamentals of the company justify it, like a lot of these companies are generally not going to be worth it. Right? You just figure if they're losing money, then it doesn't matter if you bought it at a good discount or not. Well, it really depends on how long you're planning to hold it too. If it's significantly oversold and you're just looking for a couple days swing, I suppose that could be more realistic. But a lot of these companies that just have a horrible daily chart, it's clear that they're not profitable. If you're just buying and holding, you should lose money, right, in the long run. Man, there's just really nothing moving today. Nothing moving that's holding up anyway. I mean, this thing popped up. Again, no news. And it just kept the whole thing back. Massive, massive rug pull. This is only 100,000 shares, too. It wasn't even that much. But it was enough to tank it over $1. Honestly, too, still looks quite heavy. You haven't really had any good bounces here. Looks like any kind of bounce is getting sold into. That combined with how extended it is on the daily. Not ideal. NCI buyers have disappeared. I think everyone's disappeared, really. Yeah. Next leg down incoming. Possibly. Yeah, certainly doesn't feel safe right now. I'm really disappointed with how this morning's going along, too. Right, we're almost an hour in. I've really seen nothing that's made an interesting move. Last week we had some good continuation. FJet, MLEC, NCI. Wonder if we'll get something this week. Yeah, I mean, MLEC was really I would say like the staple that we had last week. NCI was pretty good as well, but it was more during the day for NCI. And realistically, MLEC was also mostly during the day. It only had pre-market action the first day of the move, and that was it. Everything else has been mostly moves during the day or during market hours. I guess during this final stretch here, there was some pre-market, but yeah, curious to see if we'll get anything else. Like right now, it's not looking good. NCI, did that one move? during pre-market. I don't recognize, I'm actually surprised this thing even moved because I didn't really notice it. Looking, I don't really see any big moves that made pre-market. Yeah, it seems like most of the movement was happening during market open. Yeah, so this one really didn't move at all during market open, or during pre-market. This is the first instance it has, and it's just kind of sold off. All right, well, we're at the top of the hour here. Hopefully we get something. All right, MNTS popping up here. This is one that has often failed. Does have news. Immediately dropped down there. It's a pretty big pop too. 5 to 590 straight away. This is a lighter float. Historically, it does make some pops. It has popped up 100% before. Set to launch multiple US government and commercial payloads. Yeah, this one's probably going to be out of play. This would need to move quite a lot. Like, this one meets some of my criteria, but this would need to move a lot for me to be in it. Just curious, what is the shorting fee looking like? Only 91%. Okay. So not super expensive. I should position myself. Yeah. EHAB also moving here. Tops. Okay, yeah, tops just popped up for me. Immediately rolled over. This is a Chinese stock, right? No, Greece, okay. I am able to short it though. Yeah, so this one had an instance here. Popping up. Okay, so tops, yeah, tops is out of play for me. Can't mess with this one. Dare? Is that another one? Yeah, it just kind of popped up, faded. I should at least keep an eye on Dare. MNTS moving now. MNTS might turn into something. Volume's so light on this, though. Yeah, it's up like 6%. Short tops, good luck, sir. Yeah, Grease Company, been mostly flat. So some sort of acquisition for tops. Tops is like an oldie. This one used to move a lot in the past. It is a lower float now, so I suppose it could do something. Gauss halt, interesting. Okay, announces results from phase 3. Okay, I mean, yeah, if that's good results, right, this thing could actually move. Phase 3 usually has the biggest impact results. I'll keep it on a side watch for now. Tops is only up 15%. Even after all these movers, the biggest one is only up 15%. That's... These stocks just aren't moving enough. MNTS only up 5%, and it's just not getting volume. All right, only getting 10,000 volume here is not, it's not really enough. Goss showing suspended on Webull. Yeah, pending, it's halted pending news. Yeah, Goss is halted for the moment. I mean, we definitely have some movers, but it doesn't, I mean, I don't know. Tops is really the best positioned one to make a move. It's not in a huge downtrend. It does at least have news. It's got the lower float. It's got some volume. So this is probably the best positioned one to make a move, but it's still not really up that much. Only 15%. Just curious, what did this peak at? Yeah, like, even if I would have wanted to short this, I wouldn't have got in. I wouldn't have shorted this spike, so I would have never even got a fill on this, even if I wanted to. IKT kind of moving. Very, very slow grinder. This stock does not move much. Very weird. It's actually kind of been slightly uptrending over the last 3 years. Interesting. I have a feeling this is a higher float. Yeah, 121 million. No news on this either. Very weird. What is the shorts? Very low short fee for this. Oh, we'll see if it gets up there. Yeah, the fact this has no news and is pumping like this is the weirdest part. Okay, set up another one here for 2 shares. Okay. We are short, by the way, so we are officially in IKT. Very much just grinding straight up. The fact that this is a much higher float and there's no news behind this move. Yeah, she's good luck. I mean, we'll see, right? I am in here. Fill price is at 264. So, wow, did I like time the top on this? That's crazy if I did. Yeah, the fact there's no news is kind of strange. For a float this high with no news to be pumping. Good luck. We'll see. We'll see. I'm a little bit reassured that this went straight up on no news and I got basically the top. So I'm a little bit comfortable. Man, if this rolls over, I'm like, yeah, let me just short it at the top, guys. Yeah. All right, well, here comes the first curl attempt. We'll see if we get any bounce. Certainly not home free yet. But this is a good first start. The fact that my initial entry was at the top of the first leg. IKT tied to the Gauss headline. Could be. Right, if there is a connection there, then that could explain it. I'm just looking at it purely from, I didn't see any news on this stock. If there is nuance that this does have news indirectly, then fair enough. And it could make sense too, right? For a stock that has, what is the shares outstanding? For 121 million shares outstanding, and this stock has gone up like 30-40%, that's significant for no news. And looking at the yearly chart, this stock does not typically move 40% randomly. So you could be onto something, John. Yeah, we're getting huge volume, even for this pullback. Looks unclear to me if this is bullish or bearish. Could go either way. I do have another order if we make another leg up here. Yeah, looking at the daily, this is, we're looking at here right now. So this is a pretty big gap up. Okay, I shorted a starter with you at 255. Okay. Yeah, we'll see if we get it. A lot of chop here. I'm not bullish or bearish based purely on this price action. High volume in both directions signals indecision. Y'all making me want in this. I mean, I'm literally only short one share, no thanks. So like, don't have FOMO because I shorted one share. I did have an additional order to add 2 shares short at 284, but it's not really looking like we're going to get there at this point. It could though, right? If it consolidates and makes another leg, 284 is certainly the next target on this leg up. Still way positive, but approaching crossover. It's holding well, right? This is, I mean, we're certainly at a bullish wedge here. So this is certainly still in territory. Like I said, I'm like 50-50 if this is going up or down. I still see arguments that this makes the second leg. I got the order there. If it does want to do it, let me just check, see what the rate is. Borrow fee's still extremely low. So there's just a lot of shares available. I should get my third short position up. I mean, there's... I don't think it's going there, but it could. M? Is that just the ticker? Is there a stock called M? There actually is a ticker called M. That's crazy. Okay. Well, we got the leg down, high volume. Okay. It's got a huge way to go to hit my target profit, though. Huge way to go. I do like to see the biggest volume on this push down, though. We'll see. Yeah, a ton of volume. With this, I'm now starting to get more bearish, unless there's a reason to drive this move. This feels more likely to come down now. Dude, there's no way I shorted 1 penny from the top on this thing. That's crazy. Okay. Burn, baby, burn. Yeah, odds that I lose on this trade are much lower. Like, at the very least now, I shouldn't have, like, a big loss on this. Like, I'm significantly into profit. I'm acting negative and falling. I don't know, like, I am bearish just because of this large leg down. It's very strange that we even had this move anyway, with no news. On a stock like this, it doesn't really make sense. And the fact that it doesn't make sense, because this is a lot of capital to put into pumping this, so why pump this stock? That's kind of what's got me a little worried right now. It might look like I'm in the clear because I'm up, but I am a little concerned with the fact that this kind of momentum even happened to begin with. Okay, I mean, fair enough. %50 retracement. Honestly, on these final legs, this volume's a bit lower. This actually could be due for a bounce. Yeah, 19 up to 27. So 8-cent bounce there. Back to red. That's good. We'll just have to see. I don't like that we've gone straight down. This really feels like it's due for a bounce, like an actual bounce. But I'm just wondering if there's actual selling pressure, like someone was preparing to dump a massive amount. 15 seems to be holding pretty well, though. Covered at 215 for a 40-cent win. Yeah, I was debating covering early here. My indicator doesn't say to get out yet, but the fact that this went straight down is making me question if I should be. I'm going to stick to the plan. Like, my strategy says hold here, so I'm going to hold. But I do, like, part of me feels like this was really overextended and maybe I should have sold there or covered. We'll see how much it comes back to bite me. Yeah, and as I was saying too, it looked like there was a big buyer at 15. Like there was a wall holding up pretty well there. Okay, 15 getting tested again here. At least that's two good shorts for you. I mean, yeah, like, I don't know. Tops felt a little more sketchy, not gonna lie, but yeah. All right, we're out there. Target hit. Wow. What a flush on that final push down. All right. Profit hit. And then it proceeds to go another 10 cents immediately without me. What the heck? Dang it, I missed out on 10 cents if I would have just held another 10 seconds. But hey, I hit target. Target was 206. And I mean, to be fair, it looks like it basically retraced straight back up. So. Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, like, I captured almost the entirety of this retracement. I really shouldn't complain about missing 10 cents. No, that was a solid hit, though. All right, I'm up 97 cents, which might not seem like a lot. But for only 3 trades and one of them being a loser, like, that's decent. Thank you, sir. Feeling good. Another couple trades like that, and maybe I'll increase it to 2 shares. All right, cool though. You should do the math, see what percent you made, like 25% on your trade. So let me pull it up here. I could probably just do it here. So we'll just do a calculator. So I only did one share, so the math should be pretty easy. I did it at, I bought it shorted at 264. And I made 58 cents. So wouldn't it just be... Yeah, so that's a 21% return. Almost 22% return on that trade. And like, it's important to keep that in mind too, because when you get the moves that make huge runs up, right? Like, those are the ones where it might look like this was really profitable here, a 21% return. But you got to figure there are going to be times where I stop out, and because I would be averaging up, those losses will be bigger. Technically, the max profit and max loss are about equal, because like if I would be sizing up and I would get the retracement, that winner could be very big as well. But yeah. Genuinely surprised that we had this big of a flush after this kind of lower volume. Yeah, I guess realistically I'm done for the day. Like, because I don't have any day trades left for today because, you know, stupid PDT rule in the US doesn't let me trade. So until I get that new account set up and I can like jump between two margin accounts, I'm gonna be limited to really just like one trade a day or really every other day. I'm fine with staying just to see how the rest of the market session plays out, but I'm not really, like, I'm basically sidelined now. This might be my first 0 trades in a day since I came back in October after a break. Really? So you're telling me through all of November, when we had that huge cold stretch, you were still trading every day? Good morning, Skivon. You were owning in November and December shorting, though. Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess if you're shorting, that's fair. Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm in the shorting mindset right now. Today, at least for me, Tops, it did roll over, but I mean, I'll be honest. I thought Tops had too much potential to run. I thought the risk was too high, so I didn't want to short this. Surprise flip-flop did, but I mean, flip-flop just shorts and wins against everything, it feels like, so fair enough. MNTS, yeah, this thing just didn't do anything. Given its history, like, I put it in my calculator, and I would have had to short around like 640s to 680s. It could have went there, but it didn't even get close, let's be honest. I wasn't even able to short AIDX, but it's a recent IPO, so wouldn't want to anyway. Gets... no, Gets daily chart doesn't qualify. Yeah, there wasn't actually that much shorting opportunity. I guess Tops and IKT were probably the only two stocks worth looking at for shorting. And even for like long bias trading, like there was like nothing for long biased. Like Tops just popped up and died. AIDX popped up and just rolled over. Like even now it's still rolling over. IKT, I guess you could have done this one. This one had a pretty nice leg up. It didn't have a good 1 minute pullback. The 1 minute pullback failed. So I guess if you did a micro pullback, you could have traded this. Is Goss unhalted? Yeah, Goss is still halted. No, it doesn't feel great. And RKT is just trading too slow. This thing's range bound. You're down nearly 1 can of soup, though. Located some shares on Tom's, but changed my mind, then faded. FBIO. Yeah, we are at the half hour, so we'll see if we get any other movers. FBIO certainly looks interesting the way this has popped up, though. Very significant on trend on this one. Not going to be shorting anymore today, but I do want to see what the pricing is. Okay, so 13% for this. My God, this thing just, oh my God. Just pops up to 450 and straight down to the gutter. Good God. This feels like a nightmare for longs to, like, just straight down. Just relentless. That's just brutal. Crazy on good news. We don't actually know if this is good news, right? It says enters into an agreement to sell disease priority review voucher for 205 million. That can sound good, but the thing is that 205 million a good deal, right? If that's a bad deal, then that means that this is selling off on bad news, right? So like, I would actually argue, given how this thing has rejected so hard, whatever this $205 million deal is, that might actually have been a bad deal. Like, I'm just judging that purely based off the fact that this immediately flushed, right? News comes up, for a split second, people think it's good, so the price pumps. Maybe people with more knowledge of this stock realize it's bad and then sells. Also exclusive with Duke University. Yeah. I mean, we'll see, right? Like, at this point, I don't know. Also, keep in mind on the daily, this has grinded up quite a bit, so it's possible that something was priced in. And if this was disappointment, that could be bad, right? We're essentially sitting on top of a very high level right now. There's a lot of room to fall. As far as volume, there's a lot of volume on this push down. And flip-flop, you're crazy just trying to find a short on this thing. Like, just, you see it pop and you just immediately... Dead can't bounce, very possible, right? This is a pretty big reaction. I would be hesitant, like I would probably... There was one moment where I might have bought for a very temporary bounce down here. Right, you did break through the 50 level, but I don't know, this... There might have been a bounce opportunity here. Like, in hindsight, this clearly bounced. Nothing screamed to me buy here. So, I'm not super sold on it. Ooh, Goss. Oh, my poor baby, Goss. Oof. I guess it didn't go well. My God. Part of me is almost just like, do I just buy that? Like, Jesus. This thing, how much is it down? 83%. Good God. Give me 1 sec, guys. We're gonna do something crazy here. All right, we're doing something crazy. I'm sure you can probably already guess what's coming. We got 1 share locked and loaded. A minimum order size of 100 is required for stocks between 10 and okay, $1. All right, never mind. We're not YOLOing 1 share. All right. I was just about to be like, screw it. Let me just buy 1 share. Okay, no YOLO on the share. We're not doing 100. But I wanted to buy 1 share there at 35. What a bad day, yeah. But can you blame me though? I mean, this just looks like such a sweet deal. Just gapping down that hard. It's like you're risking 30 cents with 1 share. Like, come on. Like the opportunity upside is enormous. I mean, what would I be risking with 100 shares? I'd be risking like 38 bucks. I shouldn't. I should. No, I'm talking myself out here. We're not doing it. Nope. I've already decided. But imagine if I would have bought at 35. Ugh, I'd immediately be up. I'd immediately be up. Okay, we're switching back to the other account. That way I don't give the FOMO this. We're switching back. We're going back to the margin account where I don't have day trades, so there is no FOMO. We'll just pretend, we'll do a paper trade and we'll say that I bought that 1 share at 35 cents. We'll see how good it does. You're missing the FOMO trade. Hurry! Hurry, you're missing it. Yeah. I don't know, it's just like when you see something that big of a drop on resumption, like even if it is a failure of phase 3, like gapping down 80%, your upside is significant. Like you could lose 50%. So right, I could see it going down to 90% because I've seen that before. But I just feel like more often than not, it will curl if it gaps that hard down. And yeah, I mean, like, if I bought at 35, I'm literally already up almost 100%. So, hindsight 2020, yeah, I would be up over 100% if I would have bought there. But there's a difference between doing a for fun YOLO for 1 share and being forced to do 100 shares. Like, I don't mind just kind of messing around sometimes, but you gotta be careful, right? Because it's a slippery slope. But yeah, we're just gonna chill, see what else happens today. You might have been able to take 100 shares, then immediately sell 90. You're so freaking smart, Flip Flop. You're so smart. Yeah, I would be willing to bet I could have done that. That was probably possible. But on the same token, is it really worth it to buy 100 shares to just immediately turn around to sell them? Like, literally 1 cent will make enough profit to where even if like the price went to 0, I would have still made money. Like, it would have kind of screwed with the P&L, regardless of where I sold. I mean, I would have basically had to have sold it at the same price I bought it. OBAI. I think the fact that I'm crossing the spread on such a cheap stock would have been problematic. But yeah, you're probably right, Flip Flop. I could have probably done that. OBAI. Oh, wait, this was the stock. This stock pumped, didn't it? Was this? Yeah, this was the stock that pumped up a couple days ago. Yeah, so this one has a history of making like 300% moves. Also, recent IPO. See if anything comes of it. Oh, actually has news behind it. So this isn't just a random pop. This actually has news. Yeah, volume's a little low. This is actually decent volume considering this is a recent IPO. I give volume more weight whenever it's a recent IPO because there's less people that can trade it, right? Shares tend to be locked up more. The float tends to be at its lowest. So I do give more weight to this volume. Yeah, and getting 200,000. This could make a big move. Like a legitimate. This has a history of making a big move recently. And we're getting news and volume. Like this could do something big. It's a little concerning that the peak volume came through after the price had already moved up significant. So this feels a little bit top heavy. But certainly interesting nonetheless. Yeah, that's what I was pointing out, right? Like 5 days ago or something. This stock and the other stock that moved up like the crazy amount. I forget what the ticker was called. But this stock and another stock both pumped up. Recent IPOs. So the fact that this thing has a history of making a big move certainly gives it some potential. Although this does look quite nasty right now. Dang. This Bruce. Oh my god, dude. That's... What a rug. I did say it seemed a little top heavy, but my god. That's brutal. It topped at prior resistance. Yeah, I see that. So what bounce opportunity did you have here? 216. You could have got like 9 cents here. 8 cents. It is a cheaper stock, so this move down looks more brutal than it is. Still nasty though. It bounced at 1 minute 200 moving EMA. Or yeah, EMA. It's crazy to think, if you look at the daily chart, just how much the stock has died. Like, look at this. Look how much... Like, the stock literally just IPO'd and just died. This wasn't a regular IPO, by the way. I did do research to this company back when it did its pump back here. But yeah, this was not a regular IPO. This was an acquisition where people got hold of the stock at a price, I think it was like $250. And then for whatever reason, they bid the stock up to way up here, and they just slowly sold it off with light volume. So not your normal IPO, which might explain why it's had this very strange behavior. But yeah, just know that there's people that were intentionally rug pulling this slowly, and their average price is around like $250 or something. So it's possible that any attempt to bounce up to 250 might just get hit by selling pressure. I can't believe that Goss stock doubled from where it would have bought, though. FBIO, is it curling back up? Oh, wow. It's actually made quite the recovery. No? Why? What do you mean, why? What's with the why? I knew it was going up and I didn't enter. Well, I mean... Look, dude, like... To me, there was a lot of risk to this. Right? The price is way up here. You're significantly extended on the yearly. So, knowing that news just came out and there was a massive rug here, like, I think it would have been very risky to try and buy this. You're buying into massive selling pressure. I get that it's extended, and like, you can just almost feel it screaming it's going to bounce. But I've seen it happen so many times where this happens, and then it just keeps dumping and dumping and dumping. Like, I don't know, like... For every time that it continues to recover like this, and by the way, it's actually very strange the way it's recovered, now that I'm looking at it. There's this weird channel, right? Very weird. This doesn't really look natural. Very strange. Good morning, Tristan. Good morning, sir. You're a little bit late to the party. We're getting ready to wrap up here. Why is the market dead? Asking for a friend? I'm probably the wrong person to ask about that, but it definitely does seem slower. And it, like, just to look at the failure rates again. So we're not going to count Goss because this was just Goss. But AIDX popped up, extremely light volume of only 300 shares, and then just gave the entire thing back. MNTS popped up on news, gave it back, just no volume. GITS popped up, no news, gave the whole thing back. Tops, I mean, popped up, foreign company. I think this is Hong Kong. And it just gave the whole thing back. I mean, it actually has been ranging a bit higher than the previous day. So it hasn't, while it did give the whole thing back initially, it is actually holding slightly higher, but still not great. Okay, we looked at that one. IKT, this one made no sense at all. Huge run on no news. Very, very high float stock. Looked very unnatural. Yeah, gave the whole move back and actually then some. FBIO gave the entire move back in 2 minutes. Very strange grind. I guess this is probably the best performer. This looks like this is a horrible stock, but to say that this is the best performer feels like an insult. RXT just kind of ranging. So yeah, I would say FBIO is probably the best performer today, and this looks terrible. Everyone at Ocean was asking why they couldn't trade AIDX, and I was like, are you guys serious? Why would you trade garbage like that? Yeah, recent IPO. I think it was a foreign stock too. Am I wrong on that? No, okay, it's a US stock, just a recent IPO. Wow, 38K buyer at 380. Well, guess what? That buyer is gone. Yeah, this is a thicker traded stock. So 31 million shares as well, outstanding. So a 38K buyer, when you look at the volume, like you have over 200,000 volume on these candles. 38K buyer doesn't hold up under that scrutiny. Like that's not like a clear signal to me. Like when I look and see buying or selling support on the level 2, I always ask myself, how much is that buyer relative to the volume, right? So back here, if you would have had a 38K buyer, even then, like this is still 72,000 volume, like 68,000. Even on these candles, just the entire minute volume just wipes out a buyer or seller. Like if you had, I don't know, like, so these candles were like 200,000, right? So if you had like a 400,000 share buyer, to me, that would be a signal of strength, because even with an entire minute's selling pressure, that would not alleviate the buying pressure. To me, that is true strength. If the volume is higher than the average volume of the candles per minute, that's what I look for. And I mean, that's super rare you find that, and a lot of times it's not even obvious. But yeah, a 38,000 share buyer, 500,000 share candle, like it's, I don't know, it just doesn't seem super impactful to me. Yeah, and also considering the way this grinded, this does not feel natural at all. It's clearly being pushed up. I feel like most people would actually be profitable if they wouldn't trade anything on days like today where nothing works or even pops up. Well, I mean, yeah, like, as I've said in my kind of market edge videos, simply buying and selling, you'll have a net loss. Like, even if you break even, on average, then you're still going to lose, right? Because you're crossing the spread, you're paying the fees for the trade. So yeah, trading on days like this, even if you are break even, you're going to lose money. So realistically, like what I always like to ask myself is, if I'm going to take a trade, am I actually going to have an edge to make money? At least a little edge. Because if the answer is that like it's so slow, I don't even know if there's anything there to capture, realistically, like you probably shouldn't even be trading. And while I am grateful that today was a green day for me, 58 cents is honestly a big win considering it's only one share. But yeah, I will need to start sizing up at some point here. If I get a few more days where like I'm averaging green, I'm gonna start sizing up because I do need to. Because while you guys, I'm sure you guys appreciate the streams, the transparency, a lot of people just will not care that I'm trading one share and making 58 cents. So I will need to size up. But hey, at least you can say that you were here first on the ground floor. Yeah, we got 4 minutes to the top of the hour here. I think 10 shares would be perfect. I don't know. So like initially I was going to go to 10 shares because I'm at a bell curve distribution. So I calculate where the sweet spot is, where price is most likely based off of data to land. And I have it set so that as price approaches it, I take a starter position. Like we'll go back to IKT just to show you clearly. So this is only one share. My model suggested that the price was going to peak at 284. So the way I had it set up was one share going in towards that level, which did hit. 2 shares, peak addition would be right at the predicted level. And then one more share at the other end of the bell curve where it would start to drop off. And then we would have a stop above that. So realistically, at max allocation, I would be 4 shares in. So I got to be careful going to 10 shares, right? Because realistically, what you're saying with 10 shares is I would actually be at 40, right? Because 10, 20, 10. And I don't, oh, by the way, just to go back to FBIO, yeah, very big pop. But yeah, like, the big thing I gotta make sure is that this account stays above 2,000. And I mean, we can do some basic math here. Let's just do some math. We'll assume 40 shares. Max loss would be probably like 20, we'll just say 30 cents a share. So I could take, yeah, I could take about 8 losses before I blow up the account in the sense that I no longer have the 2,000 margin. Yeah, no, I think that stands up under scrutiny. Yeah, I think give me one or two more days of trading, and if it holds up decently, yeah, I think sizing up to 10 shares is reasonable, Duvin. Yeah, or not Duvin, Bobby. Yeah, I think 10 shares is fair. That gives me a solid 8 trades. The odds that I have 8 losing trades in a row is very low. Yeah, seems fair. Because I haven't really even messed with the fees, because everything's just rounding to 1 penny. Because it's a minimum 1 penny short fee. So I have no idea how to calculate the fees yet, because I don't actually know what the fee rate typically is. I've only ever just seen one penny. Yeah, 10 shares would be ideal. I did the math before you, Cat. Oh, thank you, sir. Yep, 10 shares makes logical sense. I'm not risking blowing up the account. And, so, like, I mean, we could just head exit, right? So I would have made $5.80 today. I mean, that's still not really impressive, but at least that's enough to where it's like, okay, you at least made a can of soup today, right? Like, I'm trading with such small size, like, I'm not even making a can of soup unless it's a home run. Like, the only way I would make over $1 right now is if I would buy the full allocation of 4 shares, and then I would capture the entire retracement, which is extremely unlikely. But yeah, I agree. I think 10 shares is the next step. We do that for a couple weeks. If the data is still holding up and I'm having good results, then we can look to go from there. Probably give it an extra like 1 or 2 weeks after 10 shares. Maybe go to like 50 or 100. Well, we gotta be careful though, right? Because ALUR popping up here. Let me just go ahead and look at this real quick. We got stock popping. Has news, receives FDA approval. I mean, that's a good headline. Bit of a downtrend. I'm not able to short it, just checking to see if I'm able to. Okay, low borrow fee. So I was able to short this. I'm actually really surprised with Webull. Even though the locates are crap, if you get in early, then I actually haven't had issues locating shares. As long as I locate early. It's very high volume. What is... Okay, only 12 million shares. This is actually pretty good volume for the shares outstanding. This news seems strong too. Like this would be one, like if we get a good breakdown on like even right here, actually, this looks like a good buy point. Just given this news is so strong and the volume so high, like I would say this could have been a good buy point here for a bounce. 157. Tried to get in at 170. Your order didn't go through. Well, you might have got another chance right here. Well, just went to 172. You might be in. What widget am I using for that short info? One second. I just want to make sure I'm not showing anything I shouldn't be. I don't see anything compromising here. So this is the execution window for Webull. So I can't really show it. Can I like shrink this? Yeah, I actually can't. Okay. But yeah, when I click on the short button, the execute order button down here, you just barely can't see it, I think. But actually, I can do it here. Like, you can see it here. So I click the short button. Oh, actually, now there's no shares. So normally when you click short, that window will pop up to tell you if shares are available. And that's what I've been using to check it. So whenever I clicked short on it on this first minute, I was able to find locates. But now when I click it, oh, actually now I have it again. But yeah, it seems like it's borderline not shortable because when I tried to do it there for a moment, around here, there were no available locates. But yeah, that's what I use. So yeah, this is basically just an order confirmation window. But it tells me the rate and tells me the fee, which is very nice, right? It lets me... I could just click this to not see it anymore, but I actually really like seeing this window. It lets me know what I'm getting into. Considering my strategy is very slow-paced, right? There's no real urgency on speed. I think it's really beneficial to actually be able to look over it. I'm curious if this is going to resolve though. Like I'm actually somewhat bullish on this. So I'm curious if we're actually going to get this curl or not. We'll see if we do. Like my alleged entry would have been at 157. Like it's kind of ominous that we keep getting lower highs. So this doesn't look great. So this might have turned into a loss. We'll see. I want to see how this trade would have played out. Would I have lost? Okay, back to break even. I'm just basically paper trading it, just out of curiosity. Okay. First green candle in 5 minutes. Did we get that 1 minute high and sudden squeeze? This is still very high volume. News catalyst is still good. I'm still bullish on it. I'm more bullish than bearish. Really struggling at this area though. Big seller at 160. It's only about 25,000. Can easily be taken out. Yeah, this wouldn't be... I'd be getting worried, though. The fact that it's taking so long to curl. This is like... This really should have curled by now. You think LR is finished? It might be. Like, this really needed to be where the 1 minute high happened. The fact that it just kept making lower highs and what looked like a really strong setup isn't resolving. This might have been a signal that it's turning bearish. But we'll see if it recaptures or just goes lower. Okay, so this would have been a loser for me then. I think. Because I think I might have stopped out there. Now watch it curl and go. This being the stop out trigger to stop the longs. But yeah, I would have lost probably like 15 cents per share there. Because I would have bought it 157 here. Yeah, I mean... I guess just good news doesn't matter. All right, fair enough. All right. How foolish of me. Quite extended on the 1 minute push. Reminds me a lot of this one ticker from last week. Hot market allure rockets up, but not in this. That's a strong point, actually, Carl. That's a good point. Yeah, if you had this kind of headline, then this thing would have probably curled. It might not have even pulled back this much. Yeah, the fact that everything's dying, like you've got that amplified effect of shorts are attacking this, and longs are just not wanting to get it. But I mean, with that said, like look at this volume. Like, we're having 500,000 volume a minute. This is not light volume. So I don't know. Like, I'm not actually sure. I'm not actually sure how well that holds up. Eight no trade days for me. This the most I've had in a single month out of 5 years trading. Are you saying like you had no 8 trade days this month? I mean, you guys have seen it. Like I usually will at least take 1 trade. The fact that even me, like someone who will like trade anything if the setup comes up most of the time, the fact that I've had several no trade days this month is significant. I haven't had it this bad in a while. And it's weird too, because January wasn't bad. We had some good activity on January. Yeah, this month. Yeah. I mean, maybe with this shorting strategy I can do more, but... yeah, I don't know. You guys can call me crazy, but I'm still bullish on this. Like, the fact this has good news, good volume, and we're at the lows, like it feels like it's poised for a bounce. Maybe I'm just coping too hard. Right, I technically would have already stopped out. It's ENVBing. I mean, ENVB died immediately, didn't it? Like, it didn't even last this long. I think it died within 10 minutes. This one's at least holding up after 10 minutes. Like, it's still up what? It's still up 30%. No same move. I thought ENVB died quicker. Did it not? How long did this last? So started at 8:01. Yeah, the move only lasted 6 minutes. Allure is like at 6 minutes it was here. Like it would have still been up like 40%. So this one is still failing, but it's not failing anywhere near as fast. Well, I got to get ready to go here. Nothing to trade really because I'm not able to trade in this account. I will have one more day trade tomorrow. So if I see anything else tomorrow, I can go ahead and take a stab at it. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. If you like the stream, leave a like, maybe consider subscribing. I do stream every morning session, 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. EST.